Track Reviews.
Hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well, and it's time today for a kind of insane track review. Yes, a revision, a redux of sorts. We have a recording on the way from none other than Roger Waters of Pink Floyd fame. In his infinite wisdom, he has decided that this October, he's going to be dropping a re-recorded version of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. A record that personally, among me and my fans, there has been some tension and some discourse, maybe because I feel like it's not like their best record. I prefer Animals. I kind of prefer The Wall. I prefer Wish You Were Here. With that being said, still a great album. Still numerous classics on this record, and one of the best and most influential records in the prog and classic rock genre. And again, I guess we're going to get a new view of the record this fall. Now, Roger has publicly stated that this album is not meant to be a replacement for the old version. He's not doing a Dark Side of the Moon, Roger's version, Taylor Swift style or anything like that. In his own mind, I guess this revisit of this old material is due in part to him trying to, kind of like reassess and reconnect with the emotional and political messages of the album that he thinks are still resonant and relevant today, which conceptually, I suppose I could get behind in a way. I mean, I guess it's the closest thing we're going to get to new Pink Floyd music, given that him and David Gilmour are currently not on good terms. And there is a single out from this version. It's the song Money, which is actually, even if Dark Side of the Moon is not, the best Pink Floyd album in my mind, Money is definitely one of the best Pink Floyd songs. And a really key track off of this album. Interesting that this would be the teaser because, a song as beloved as Money is going to set the tone for how people will view the rest of the record, given how good or bad, this new version pans out. So if Roger screws the pooch on this new version of the song, I don't know if people are going to be too excited to listen to this album. Without any further ado, Roger Waters, Money, Redux version, 2023. Let's give it a spin. All right, I'm tagging out early. A few seconds early. This is awful. This is truly terrible. Like when Roger says in the middle of the track, "Welcome to hell," he means it in more ways than one. Maybe inadvertently, but definitely more ways than one. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing about this version that I enjoy or I thought was good or I thought added to the memory of the song or the points that it was originally trying to make. In fact, I feel like I'm just kind of getting those same points, but just like a worse, terrible, more difficult to stomach version. Yeah, whole thing instrumentally and vibe-wise kicks off like some slow, moody, seedy bar jazz blues mix. It in and of itself is not bad. If I heard another band performing this version and they were doing maybe like a little instrumental jam session on it, wouldn't be bad. I'd be like, okay, that's respectable. It's a creative little way to twist that around. But it's a pretty drab start to things, and it doesn't really pick up from there, even if the more acoustic-leaning dynamics of this version in concept are kind of cool. But then Roger's vocals come in, and, granted, given his more recent material that I've heard, I know the dude's voice has aged a bit. Sounds a bit, raspier, more gravelly, but he's leaning into that on this version in the just most grating and annoying ways. Really trying to money. It's a gas to take punch, put it in your pocket. I think there's already been some comparisons made to Tom Waits with this version of the song. Those are certainly accurate. In another breath, I'm also reminded of Tonetta a little bit. I'm kind of worried about what I could potentially be sparking on the internet by referencing Tonetta. I don't care at this point. It's so terrible. I have to make the comparison. And it's not even just the sound of the whole thing. It's the vibe, because it's like Roger is trying his best, trying way too hard, in fact, to sound super sinister and dark and evil. It's like an overly theatrical put on. Whereas like, obviously there's an element of, narrative and storytelling and, acting to the performance of Money, the original version. But like, he's just taken it way, 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 way far down into the theater kid rabbit hole here, especially as his vocals start to lose hold of the tempo of the song, and he begins on this just lengthy, totally unnecessary, obnoxious spoken word passage where the instrumentation gets a bit looser here and there. We have a few orchestral touches of instrumentation that are mega tacky, and we have Waters going on about a Faustian pact.
The devil enjoys his little joke.
Ooh, he's a scary devil guy, and he's a joking jokester, tricking you with greed and money.
Again, doesn't really like add to the idea that money is evil or the root of any kind of evil. In fact, honestly, like framing things in the way that Waters has on this song just kind of shows how shallow the commentary on capitalism is on the song. But like the thing is, there weren't a whole lot of tracks at that level of popularity doing what Money did as well. Even though there have been, more advanced criticisms made in numerous forms of art, it's a track that you look back on, you're like, yeah, that did great for its time. That's why it's classic. That's why it's amazing. And a lot of elements of the song have aged well. What this version does is it completely removes anything and everything about the track originally that did age well. And then it takes the components that have not aged as well, or just maybe don't hit with the same impact today that they would have back then, and just makes them hit with even less impact and makes them sound, in fact, kind of silly, even if there is validity to what the song is getting at. And above all else, it's just like a chore. It's a damn chore to sit through. My God. I don't really know if there's much else I can or want to add to this, but I guess look forward to hearing Roger Waters ruin one of the greatest albums of all time. I guess look forward to hearing Roger Waters ruin one of the most beloved rock albums of all time. That is what you have to look forward to this October. Maybe it won't be on the
nostalgia critic level
of his version of The Wall, but if this version of Money is any indicator, could be close. Let me know what you guys thought of this version. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Dark Side of the Moon, Redux, Money, forever.